Bago, officially City of Bago or simply Bago City, is a second-class component city in the province of Negros Occidental of Negros Island region in the Philippines, some 21 kilometers south of the provincial capital Bacolod, with a total of 170,981 people based on the 2015 census. Bago City comprises the 6.63% of the population of the entire Negros Occidental, making it the third most populous city in the province. It sets a land area of 389 square kilometers, which is 5% of the entire Negros Occidental and 10% of the total land area of component cities. It is also tagged as the home of historical and natural treasures, owing to its contribution in the colorful history of the province of Negros Occidental and country, and its beautiful scenery and abundance in flora and fauna, making it a good eco-tourism destination as well as the boxing capital of the Philippines. Title: owing to the great names it produced in boxing. Etymology: the community was named after a large tree called Bago, under which a native Prince Mapagic died, according to the writings of a Spanish historian, Diego de Povidano. Another version, however, noted that the name came from the shrub bago that grew abundantly in the river banks. Around the 17th and 18th centuries, settlers from Molo, Iloilo formed a little village at the mouth of Bago River, presently a rich source of sand and gravel. The village grew into a large settlement, prompting its elders to pass a petition for its conversion into a town, a pueblo, which was granted in 1800. History: Spanish era. Its history has its beginning on September 6, 1571, when the Spanish adelantado Miguel López de Legazpi allotted the community to a Spaniard named Juan Gutiérrez Cortés as his encomienda. At the time, the community was still composed of small clusters of settlements along the banks of a big river which later became known as the Bago River. The encomendero, since then, administered to the spiritual and socio-economic needs of the natives in the settlements until June 1578. However, a year before that, this community was placed under the evangelical visitations of Father Geronimo Marin, an Augustinian priest who had taken charge of the Christianization of the natives of Binalbagan since the year 1572. Father Martin, upon his arrival in the community, celebrated the feast of St. John the Baptist, who would later be accepted as the patron saint of the place. Following the traditions and practices of the Spanish missionaries and historians in recording the founding of a pueblo, or town, that usually coincides with the feast day of a saint, and since the feast day of St. John the Baptist falls on June 24th of each year, it follows thereof that Bago was founded on June 24, 1575. History only records 1575 as the year when Bago was founded, so that the exact month and day can only be deduced from such traditional practices of the Spaniards. Manila, Cebu and Binalbagan also predicted the dates of the founding on the same historical situations, hence, the logical conclusion is that Bago City was officially founded on the month, day and year heretofore mentioned. As regards on how the community acquired its name, according to the manuscript of a Spanish historian, Diego López de Povidano, which is available in the library of the University of San Carlos, Cebu City, the community was named after a large tree called Bago, under which a native prince by the name of Mapagic died. Another historical version is that the place got its name from a shrub called Bago, which was then growing luxuriantly along the river banks. 17th century. From the year 1575 up to the close of the 16th century, no historical account was written about the community. Bago came into the historical scene again when, at early part of the 17th century, a group of settlers settled along the banks of Bago River. The arrival of these settlers merged into a sizable village capable of self-governance. In later years, the descendants of these settlers petitioned the Spanish authorities to declare the village a pueblo, or town, and to name it Bago. Among the petitioners were Manuel Sechon, Gregorio Varela, Paulino Torres, Jacinto Araneta, Clemente Celis, Mariano Gonzaga, and Fernando Villanueva, whose forebears hailed from the town of Molo, Loalo. The said petition was finally granted by the Spanish authorities in the year 1800. Thus, Bago officially attained the status of a pueblo, or town, in that same year. 19th century. Between the years 1800 and 1898, the inhabitants of Bago are among those who suffered tremendously under the Spanish tyranny, injustice and oppression. This social condition finally led to a great revolt on November 5, 1898, when on this day, General Juan Anacleto Araneta rallied his people in the struggle for freedom. This historic event was chronicled in a historical marker found in the city public plaza of Bago, which bears the following inscriptions. Republica de Negros. Together with General Aniceto Lacson, who led the forces in Talisay, he was able to force the capitulation of the Spanish garrison at Bacolod, thus putting an end to the Spanish sovereignty in the province. Forthwith, a revolutionary government was established with General Juan A. Araneta as the acting governor. The municipality of Bago. An election was held and Ramon del Castillo became the first elected municipal president who served in such capacity from the year 1898 up to the year 1900. 20th century. In April 1901, the Americans came and established a civil government in the province of Negros Occidental, which completely abolished the revolutionary government of General Araneta. Bago was one of the towns that were placed under the control of the Americans. However, they allowed the municipality to be governed by Filipino officials. When the Japanese forces invaded the Philippines, the civil government of Bago was dissolved. The Japanese occupation forces tried to establish a provisional government, but the local people refused to cooperate. When the joint American and Filipino forces, including recognized guerrillas, liberated the town on March 29, 1945, it was completely destroyed, but rehabilitation work was immediately started. Bago City was finally granted its cityhood on February 19, 1966, by virtue of Republic Act No. 4382, with Hon. Manuel Y. Torres as the holdover city mayor until 1998. Legal limitations on the number of successive terms disqualified Mayor Manuel Y. Torres in running again as city mayor, and in the 1998 local elections, his wife Janet E. Torres ran as candidate for mayor and won. Mayor Janet served Bago City as city mayor for 3 consecutive terms. Presently, the city of Bago is under the leadership of Mayor Ramon D. Torres, who is currently serving in his second term as the local chief executive. Geography. Bago City has a total land area of 38,941 hectares, 3,651.715 hectares, of which belongs to Mount Candler on Natural Park. It is composed of 24 barangays, 16 of which are rural and 8 are urban. Based on NSO 2000 census, urban barangays include Abuanan, Atipuan, Caridad, Balingasag, Don Jorge Araneta, Marao, Poblacion and Taloc. Braji. Ilijan, however, with a distance of 30.50 kilometers from the city proper, is the farthest barangay. Braji. Bacong has the biggest land area with 4,827.0350 hectares, while Braji Poblacion, as the smallest, has 311.5044 hectares. The city has 1,100 has water area and 15 kilometers coastline. Bago City is traversed by the widest river in the province, the Bago River, which starts from the northeast slope of Canlaon volcano and drains into Guimaras Strait. It has moderately sloping to rolling lands. Slopes are ranging from 0 to 3%, comprises 22.911.42 has. 3 to 8% comprises 5,783.92 has. 8 to 18% comprises 4,682.22 has. 18.1 to 30% comprises 1,514.84 has. 30 to 50% steep hills and rolling comprises 1,735.18 has, and a very steep and mountainous 50% above comprises 2,313.57 has. Normally, the city is wet from May to December and dry from January to April, with a temperature level of 24.40 degrees Celsius. Average rainfall recorded is 5.68 millimeters for 89 rainy days within a year, while average humidity level is at 76.17%. Barangays. Bago City is politically subdivided into 24 barangays. Demographics: 99.6% of the residents speak Hiligaynon and Ilonggo, while 0.4% speak other languages such as Cebuano, Kindari, and Tagalog. When it comes to religion, 82% are Roman Catholic, 2% are Convention of the Philippines Baptist Church, 6% are Alipayan, 3% are Iglesia Ni Cristo, and the remaining are either Jehovah's Witnesses, Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints, Seventh-day Adventists, Evangelicals, etc. Here are some notes regarding the city's demographic information. First recorded population was 23,630 in 1903. 2000 census showed that Bago City has a population of 141,721. Male population is 72,777. Female population is 86,944. Urban population is 60,557. Rural population is 81,164. Population density is 362 persons per square km. Braji Marau has the biggest population of 14,916. Braji Bagroy has the lowest population of 1,305. Local government: Ramon D. Torres was elected as mayor of Bago City in 2007, replacing Janet E. Torres, whose husband served as mayor for almost 40 years. The Coliseum, located in the heart of the city, is named after him. List of former mayors of Bago. The following were the succeeding municipal presidents and mayors of Bago until the outbreak of the Second World War on December 7, 1941. The leadership since World War II. Notable natives are residents: Araneta family, prominent Filipino clan who consider Bago as the primary hub. Juan Araneta, revolutionary national hero. J. Amado Araneta, business tycoon. Rafael M. Salas, United Nations Under-Secretary General, Executive Director UNFPA, national hero. Jesus Varela, Roman Catholic bishop. George B. Vargas, wartime head of the Philippine government, Executive Secretary to Manuel Quezon. Mansueto Velasco, Junior Olympic silver medalist. Raul Velasco, Olympic bronze medalist. Jose Yulo, Speaker of the House, wartime Chief Justice.